which is why DOC checks the people in the cells at certain intervals, if you will. So there is a degree of responsibility when you have someone in custody or they've been detained. So I wanted to bring that up also.
Good, yeah. I mean, things are happening. People are being indicted.
Correct.
They've got. I think they just indicted the three men today.
That's correct.
I think in that February 23rd shooting of Ahmaud Arbery, and so people are being indicted and arrested, and maybe they'll get some jail time more often than not, but they're still killing folks. We're still losing folks. It's just, when does that piece stop? And then you've got the corporations are doing, trying to do something. So you're in this catch-22. So on the one hand, you have the corporations and other folks deciding now, okay, you know what? Black Lives Matter. We're going, where a month ago they wouldn't even mention that, and now all the corporations are kind of like, we're behind it. Places where there aren't any black folks have signs up that say Black Lives Matter. People are speaking more where they weren't, and so. But then on the one hand, so you have that going on. So there's been this hue and cry for years for companies to recognize the
right.
Black folks. Then they're recognizing it now, although it's small, but it's something. And then you got now there, I can, the fear you run into now, you have the black folks, we're all saying, wait a minute, that ain't enough. What you doing?
There you go.
Oh, you gonna take Aunt Jemima off the box now? She should have been off 130 years ago, as they pouring it on their pancakes, been pouring the syrup on for forever. But what do you do? So they got to start somewhere. You don't want them to pull back and say, oh, forget it. We're not going to do anything now.
That's correct.
But at the same time, I caution the companies, like, you got to give us a minute because you've been ignoring us for hundreds of years. Pardon us if we got a little trouble believing what's happening at this point. But so it's going to take some give and take on both sides, and you're going to have to stick with it for a while. But let's go on to a break and then come back on the other side, and then we're going to have probably the master will call in at that point and tell us, make all this make sense and tell us what we ought to do.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
So step right there. We'll be right back.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
It's because of that historical trauma that goes back so many generations.
Believe in a fundamental form of racial justice.
We are tired. Guys, we're tired. And we are frustrated.
And racism.
This is a critical time for us.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Anyone else?
My name is David, and in 8 years, I'll be an alcoholic.
Hi, David.
I'll start drinking in middle school, just at parties. But my parents won't start talking to me about it till high school. And by then, I'll already be in some trouble.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults.
The thing is, my parents won't even see it coming.
So start talking.
Who's next?
Before they start drinking.
I just remembered it's election day. Are you going to vote?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have time today.
Millions of eligible voters in America never make it to the polls or even register to vote. When you don't vote, you're letting other people make decisions for you and pick the things your taxes will pay for. Voting is more than a civic duty. It gives you a voice about the priorities and the future of your community and our nation. Voting gives you a seat at the table.
She's missing class, and she's dropping her pom-poms. Nobody knows where she is, not even her mom. Everybody thought she was the all-American girl. So there goes the books, it's all about the score. There goes the doggy, life is such a bore. There goes the family, she's got a new friend. There goes the looks, this is the end. I guess she really was the all-American girl.
Pick up heroin and you'll throw away everything you love. Share your stories on Instagram with #heroin.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in physics, I learned that I'm a loser.
Today in school, I learned that I'm ugly and useless. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. In history, I learned that I'm trash.
Today in school, I learned that I have no friends. In English, I learned that I make people sick. And at lunch, I learned that I sit on my own because I smell. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me.
In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. And in math, I learned that I'm trash.
The only thing I didn't learn in school today?
The only thing I didn't learn today?
The only thing I didn't learn?
Is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Straight No Chaser Talk Radio. Other shows water down the issues. We only serve the hard stuff. Straight No Chaser Talk Radio.
Sinbad here holding it down, trying to hold it down while Ambeezy's doing a thing, and Pastor C is recuperating, doing his thing, and we're trying to figure out just what is going on in the world, as Marvin Gaye would put it. What is going on? But things are just so crazy. Things are so crazy. So we've been talking about just everything that's happening. And, all over the world, I got people calling me right now, trying to call in and say, what is going on? But, we're just trying to piece things together and figure out what's happening. Everywhere you look, there's something going on. Chief, let me let you jump in.
Yes, sir. Well, I can tell you, we left before the break and we were just kind of going over some issues. And, of course, whenever we start touching those nerves, we can depend on our buddy Phil to call in. And I've got Phil on the line. So, Phil, we've been waiting for you to call, man, so we could kind of hear your thoughts on some of the things that we've been talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen worldwide, here is Phil calling us from Maryland. Phil, talk to us.
Chief Sinbad, it's always good being with you all. I actually left a meeting with our county executive so I could hurry up and get on this call. First of all, you have been great work. You do.
Thank you.
Secondly, I need to make this perfectly clear. We being black people, got to make that clear. We do have a number of great white friends. We do.
That's true.
And I can identify them because I met a lot of their parents and grandparents in the 60s. So I know some of them are genuine. I want to make that perfectly clear. Chief, I listened to you all talk about wake up. The fact is the police have been taking the lives of black men for the last 200 or 300 years since Reconstruction, since Jim Crow. And they've been doing it without firing a shot. And Chief, you know this, you are, and somebody's paying you to teach somewhere in one of these colleges. The police ruin the records of black men and therefore ruin their life. Chief, you know when you were here, we talked about trying to grow our own police recruits. But you could never get them through the initial process.
Right.
Because there was always something in their record that came up.
That's correct.
So it's not always a bullet. Sometimes the truth is the bullet might be the easy way out. If we look back at just some of these things, you got one person selling individual cigarettes. Do we really think that's the job? That's the way he wanted to make money? But I guarantee you somewhere throughout his life, his record got all messed up over stupid things. When you give some thought to how the police are able to ruin lives, it's not a bullet. Our black women, they have a difficult time finding that person called husband, father, dad, spouse, because they want somebody who can provide for them, who can get a job and make money. But black men have been scarred, deeply scarred, by these arrests that are made. These traffic stops that these officers are able to turn into something totally wrong. Now, just as we have good white friends, I don't want anybody to misunderstand me. We've got some great police officers. We do. And I've enjoyed working with them most of my life. But racism runs deep. White America got real smart after the Jim Crow era. They got extremely smart after the 13th Amendment. And what we're now witnessing, what we're taking part in, is white America's fight to hold on to their heritage. They have become a very, very frightened people. They know what their grandfathers did and their great-grandfathers did. They're very much aware of it. Their grandfathers have taught them all their lives, and their fathers have turned it and passed it on to their children, that you cannot allow black people to compete with you. You see, they know that. They've seen what we're able to do. They've seen us build bridges out of nothing, build buildings with the least of tools. They've seen us grow things out of the ground you couldn't imagine and we survived from. They know what our capabilities are. So they've been taught. Now, Chief, listen, I'm having this conversation almost daily now.
Sure.
We've got to stop acting like we don't know or don't understand it. We do understand it. We may not like it, but we do understand it. You ever talking about this police reform bill and how it's getting hung up on Capitol Hill? Mitch McConnell has an obligation to his people to keep black people in their place. That is his obligation. And at his age, it does not really matter to him what anybody